Hello, Joe.
Hello, Dennis.
I see you rode your motorcycle.
It is a gorgeous day for riding bike today.
It really is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. First time I've had it out in probably about, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe.
2.
Yeah, some of that rain, I didn't want to be on it.
I was about that far from calling you last past Sunday to go for a ride. My brother and I went for a ride on our bikes, and we went north and we came back. But I knew First Communion was going on, and you wouldn't have had time. And I was going to hopefully one of these days you and I and my brother, if not him, we're going to hook up with Father Bob over in Nina. We'll go for a ride. Yeah, yep. So that's what we want to do. So beautiful day.
Well, you took a big ride. You went all the way up to Sturgeon Bay.
Sturgeon Bay, yeah. What I discovered is if you follow someone and you say you want to go for a short jaunt, that jaunt is as short as he wants it to be.
Their definition of short versus your definition of short.
And I said, this old man, Brother Dave, this old man has to use the next gas station, so there's a restroom in there that's calling him a name. So we put on, I think, about 300 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not short at all.
No, it's not. And last year, because of...
How long? Was it 5-6 hours?
It was all that, yeah. It seemed going on and on, because I wanted to get home, and I didn't realize my brother Dave, thank you Dave, he pulled me way up north, but it was a good ride. The weather was beautiful, except the wind was challenging, especially on highway, I think it's 57 coming south in Sturgeon Bay, and that was a bit of a hold on tightly to that, but it was good in that regard. I think last year, total miles, I put on less than what I put on Sunday.
Well, that's good. Welcome back to biking. So
it's wonderful. Yeah, definitely. He's got a nice bike, by the way. If you want to see it, you got to see it. It's really. Maybe we'll show that in our video.
Maybe so.
I think we got to see it.
But that's a surprise.
See his toy.
That's a surprise for later on in this video.
Yeah.
Not the bike, but what we're going to do.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to giving everybody the little what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So
let's start by talking about this last weekend, Dennis. We opened up for Mass for the first time this last weekend of June 13th and 14th. The Body and Blood of Christ, the Feast of the Body and Blood. And as we mentioned last week, that we were doing that with a 25% capacity, so those people who came realized that we had every other pew taped off. We had chairs socially distant, wherever we had chairs set up. And we had people, we opened up only a couple of doors at each place, and it worked out very well. So at Peter and Paul on Saturday, there were about 45 people that came. At Holy Rosary, there were about 70 on Saturday night at the 4. On Sunday morning here at St. Anne, we only had about 38. At Peter and Paul, I'm just kind of going in order, at Peter and Paul they had 68, and amazingly enough, at Holy Rosary at 10 they had 68. And then we had our First Communion at noon, and we had about 110. So it was really, we had crowds, weren't sure how many to expect, just know we've got more room. If I was talking to somebody the other night, they said they didn't come on purpose because they had communion the week before, and they thought, I don't want to take up one of those spots for somebody who hasn't had communion in a while, so they didn't come. And I'm getting a phone call, so we're just going to avoid that right now.
They take temperature and at the door, and I went to Sunday morning Mass at Holy Rosary at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Temperature and they would have provided a mask. I brought my own, and I used that. It's a one-time use mask, and I was able to toss it after that. It was wonderful to be back celebrating Mass with the community.
And we ask that people wear masks and ask if their temperature can be taken. We also know that there are people out there who will refuse to do both. Brothers and sisters, you're still welcome. We just want to be, and again, we mentioned this last week, so forgive if we're just repeating. We just want to be as loving as we can to those who are more susceptible or more elderly or whatever, and so that's why we ask us all to do that, because it allows those people who may be more anxious to be able to pray well. But those are the things that we ask, and we've got, as Dennis said, those temperature takers and masks if you forget yours to come. But please come this week. We've got room. We've still got room.
Yes, we do. And I don't know if it's not only susceptible, but those who are still a little bit concerned.
Yeah, sure.
That we want to set them at ease and relax. So if it just takes a mask, we're a community of one. We're a faith, and we always need to be thinking of the next person and be with them in joy and accepting who they are. So that's why we ask wear the mask, just to, no matter what circumstances, just to, and like Joel had mentioned, we ask but we don't require.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis, there were a couple things you wanted to chat about that you mentioned.
Briefly, we oftentimes get calls and or emails with people, our family, our 3 parishes, that someone goes to the hospital. And it would be great if oftentimes those are emergency cases, and sometimes they're not. In all of that, if you, as family members of those who are entering the hospital, could call the parish office and let the secretaries know or us know, so that we can make a phone call to them. We can't get to the hospital, but certainly we can call them and pay a little more attention to that if possible. Yeah. And if in dire circumstances, if it's necessary, we could bring communion if it's requested an option. But that might be hard to get through. So please call us in all those circumstances.
Yeah, and a lot of times I think people may think we know about it, or others have told us about it, and oftentimes, gosh, sometimes we're the last to know. And so if you have the ability to email us, text us, call us, any information, we'd much rather it came to us 2 or 3 times than not at all. And right. So that would be wonderfly helpful.
Yeah, and I would ask you, tell your family members and yourselves, actually, all who's listening to this, is when you go to the hospital, and they have records on everybody. If you go there, if you've been a patient once or twice or several times, there's a place in there you can put down your affiliation in your church. And they might want to put that down in contact information so they have that on file, rather than when you're in a situation where you that's the last thing you're thinking about.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Those are the things that you might want to consider.
And we do appreciate those who have done this. Just in the last hour, I've gotten 1 email, 1 phone call of people that are in hospitals, and that's helpful. So thank you for those who are doing that.
Yes. The other thing I want to touch about is Formed. I think I would ask you to go on Formed, because there's so many good things on there. There's so many. There's a voluminous, as I said to Joe, voluminous amount of information and videos and movies. But the recent one that I just saw is Search. And if you ever went to Alpha last year, and those who haven't gone to Alpha, go on that forum and you look under Search, just that title, and you're going to see so much good stuff there.
So hold on, I have to interrupt. You're saying they have to search
for Search? Yes.
There you go.
Search for Search on Formed. Yes. And there's a wild goose and all that, but I would ask you please to go to Formed. And if you have any difficulty with it, any challenges, call me. Call the parish office. Call me. Email me. I'll walk you through it.
Yep, he will.
And I did it to someone out here. We're at St. Anne. You might have noticed that. And someone on some St. Anne.
They may not have noticed, because we don't have a jumping child off the very couch.
Yeah, that little guy is so cool.
He's in the next room.
Yeah. We close the door so we have a little bit of. But I walked someone through, because I asked her a while back if she watches the Mass on YouTube, and she said no. And I said, here's how you do it. So we step. And she loves it. We could do the same with Formed. And here's how to do it. You'll love it. You really will. And it's catechesis, it's faith formation, it's all of that to draw you closer to Christ and our faith, and hopefully back to us.
Yep.
Yeah.
we were talking about the homebound earlier and the people in hospitals. It reminded me, since the last time we got together on Live from the Living Room, we have had 2 funerals. Marie Koenig and Carmela Wickland. And so just invite your prayers for them, for their families, their loved ones who are grieving as we continue to move forward. And I know we will have one coming up at Holy Rosary for Mel Pfister, who I was just let know this morning, who passed away recently. And we'll be having some other ones coming up. We had talked about Anna Marie Dawn, who passed away during the pandemic.
Yes.
As a funeral a couple of weeks from now at Holy Rosary too. And so just, eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them.
Amen. Yeah. And just as a side note, I have a funeral on Saturday, not with our parish, my former parish. And please know this, if you have that issue, Joel can go. I was called to the hospital in Chilton and to go in there. They did temperature check, they gave me a mask, they did, and we prayed for that deceased person. Joe does that. I do that. Deacon Pat does that. Deacon Randy will do that. So if you get in that situation, if you're clear enough to think about it, please call us. Somehow get in touch. We can pray for that deceased and with the family.
Yep.
So that's important.
Last thing before we get a little surprise, and it's not a surprise guest today. We have none.
Yes, none.
Today, no guests, but we still have a surprise. But talked with Laura here, and if you don't know Laura, who is the office manager / faith formation person here, she was on about 4 weeks ago, sitting in that very couch that.
Yes, she was right here. With the little guy.
Marvelous young woman. But I talked to Laura, talked to Kim, talked to Sue. They're all marvelous. I'm just pointing out Laura because we're here at St. M. This morning, and we are going to reopen our parishes officially beginning next week. Now, it's not going to be the full opening, the grand opening per se, but we're taking one step toward that for all 3 of our parishes. So, here at St. Anne, beginning next week, that is Monday. That would be June, what's today? Today's the 17th?
17th, so...
That would be what, 22nd?
Yes.
We're going to say June 22nd. So Monday, June 22nd, beginning that day, St. Anne will be open Monday through Thursday from 9 to noon. Holy Rosary will be open Monday through Thursday from 9 to noon. And Saints Peter and Paul will be open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 2. So if you're looking for somebody on Friday, again, feel free to text me, call me. By appointment, I can sit down and meet with somebody because I'm in the offices on Friday. I just don't know which one, and so we're not putting solid office hours there, but I'll skip around between them. But 9 to noon, St. Anne, Holy Rosary, 9 to 2, Peter and Paul, beginning Monday the 22nd. So we're moving in the right direction. We're hope to be able to serve you, and if you have anything that you need from the parish offices those days.
And Joe and I will be at one of those.
Yep.
We're going to connect at one, but we'll be in different places too. So you want to call any secretary, a business person, Laura, Sue, and Kim, and they'll give you a heads up to where we are if we're not there. Yeah.
So, do you want to introduce what we're going to do now?
We're going to go on a walking tour.
Walking tour.
Yeah, I think it's a walking tour of this beautiful facility. There's so much to see out here at St. Anne, and maybe you haven't got a chance to see it for a while, or it's been updated and you haven't seen it because of the update. So
there are 3 things we want to show you.
Maybe a 4th one, the prayer garden. What do you think?
Why not? We'll go past the prayer garden on the way out. The prayer garden looks really good.
Yeah.
You've seen it before, probably, but it's really good.
Yeah, those 3 things. So I'm going to get up and move that camera from there. So just don't worry about the moving and bobbing and weaving. But
we hope you don't get dizzy here.
Yeah, and I'll do my best to prevent that.
Come along.
Here.
Well, we have to pop your head in and show Sean and Laura and Lydia in there. Just to
say hi, Laura. Where's the little guy? Trying to find.
Oh, they're upstairs.
Okay.
Lydia. They're busy.
Laura's busy, hard at it.
I
And we're embarrassing her, but that's okay.
There's Lydia, and there's Mr. Sean.
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you wave?
We see some underoos that are going down. That looks pretty normal, I'd say. Well, here's the prayer garden, Dennis, you mentioned earlier.
It's beautiful. One of the trees was recently removed, and I'm just going to kind of pan and scan this whole thing, and you can see a couple of places where the gardening and the landscaping was done quite well. And you see right here we have this two statues of our Blessed Mother, who we call it the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart, and then we have that, and this beautiful one right here, and that would be Saint Anne.
Yep.
And her little daughter at that time, Mary, our Blessed Mother as a child. But it's a beautiful place. I'll come here. Place for you to sit down in prayer and recollect.
A couple of different places.
It's just stunningly beautiful. Oh, check it out. Come on out for a visit here.
Scott, this is live video, so we're capturing you on it. Any words of wisdom for the people on the other side? Watch it, he's got a shovel.
That's to get out of that way. So if you can see this, I have the side view of the new garage, new shed that we have put up here at St. Anne. Well, not me, but this parish had put this up not long ago, was it, Joe?
Not long, well, it's the frame of it was up last fall, and then they put the siding on, shingled it somewhere over the winter, and then finished the shingling this spring. And then finish the sides with the, come out this side you can see, with the carriage door.
For those who are construction or those handyman types, the shingles is a metal shingle, and it's going to be, the longevity is there, and I think it's
outlived many of us.
Yes, and you can see a kind of interesting door. But so it really is beautiful little shed. It provides I should say it provides much storage space for things we need out here, and but it turned out well.
We just started waiting the little bit of lighting you can see right up there that we'll have, and then by the door. Yeah, so other than that, it's about 99.5% finished.
And the setting is just beautiful in terms of about here on the hill.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
So now we're going to go toward yon church.
We're walking past Joe's bike, and I'll sneak a few in there. This is his motorcycle, big toy he's got.
Big toy.
But we all have
an older toy. It's a 97, so it's a classic, as they say.
It is, and it's got a lot of power. I can see it by looking at the engine.
6 cylinders. It's got more than some of the cars I drive.
So now we're going in.
What are we going to show them inside?
We're walking into the church. You might be able to see the new railings here, and it really made a safer approach in and out the railings here. So now, right at the beginning, as we walk in, we're going to see the new bathroom.
A new bathroom, and this is it's operational.
And yes, it's operational. You can see.
So again, not fully ready. We just need to connect the lighting. Other than that, we're set to go. That does not mean it can't be used. It can be used. The plumbing is all working. The fixtures you'll see here. Everything's good to go. The commode, as it were, is all. We
discovered the other night that one of the parish members used it, and it works.
It has been indoctrinated. And nice little.
And this little door right here is a storage room.
Storage closet. Yep.
And so it's something we needed upstairs.
It is fully ADA. And so if there are wheelchairs that are they can come in here and certainly get in here. We've got handicapped bars.
Grab bars?
Yep, grab bars. If you have a child, you need to
Change
Here we
diapers?
go. And I think and again, so many people deserve credit for this, for doing a whole lot of work. But one of the things they did here was they framed out the window, the stained glass window, and then putting a light in behind it so that'll shine on there whenever
And that's, wow, that's beautiful.
Fantastic. Yep. So that'll light that up.
The integrity and the history of the church is preserved.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Dennis.
Yes.
One other thing we want to show you here that is new since this pandemic began, because it came in the first week of the pandemic.
Now, you may have seen what we're going to show you in the various recordings of the Mass, but Joe and I want to point something out to you if you overlooked it, that I think is stunningly beautiful. We're drawing closer to it.
Yes, we are.
It's not the altar, although that is beautiful. It is the tabernacle.
Now you may think, the tabernacle's been there the whole time. Why on earth are you showing us the tabernacle? Because if you may recall, for those who were at St. Anne, back in January we had this tabernacle taken out and refinished. We sent it down to Chicago, and this was a memorial in Math Winkle's memory, and the Winkle family had it restored. And it wasn't done until the end of March. And we brought it back in, I think it was the first or second week when the masses had been canceled, and put it in here. So Dennis is right. You may have seen it when we recorded masses out here, but this last weekend was the first weekend when we were open for a weekend mass, and people could see it. And it's just so beautiful. They did such a good job on it.
If you try to recall what it looked like, if you see the two candlesticks right next to it, how dark they are, I think it was even darker and duller in color than what the candelabras, candlesticks are now. So it's quite a dramatic change.
Well, and Dennis, if you point out the angels here on the side, some members of the prayer and worship committee also repainted those. I want to say it was Nord. But Nord may have had some help with that too. But they repainted the angels on both sides as well, just to, again, give this a more updated feel.
And somebody I know said, once you do the tabernacle, what happens there is it begins a chain effect, and where people might want to begin to do something else in here. So
one last thing, Dennis, if I can point out. So for those who didn't make it back to Mass this weekend for whatever reason, you'll see, like right here at St. Anne, every other pew is taped off. Deacon Dennis came by last week and did this. And so every other one is taped off. And so that's so we can create social distancing. And if a family comes here and sits, they can have as many as they want in there, because that family doesn't need to social distance from each other, nor a couple or whatever. But say a couple was here, Renee and I, then Dennis and Hildy could be down 6 feet on the other pew down there on the other side, keeping social distance that way.
Yes.
And that way it's staggered here back and forth. Do you also, Dennis, let's show them the decals here.
these are kind of nice, I think, Joe, and it really gives people an idea where to stand. And I'll get closer on that. And this one says, Christ before me. But then they're all down the church, the length of the aisle.
Yep, every 6 feet. Again, so we can keep social distance as we come up for communion, because during this time we are coming up for communion not in the center like normal, because you couldn't have two lines be 6 feet from each other. So we're coming out on the sides so we can stay socially distant from each other, from those lines, and then 6 feet between us as we come up for communion.
Do you want to mention one more time the hours that we're having the churches open so they can come at prayer?
Good idea. So yeah, our prayer hours, we are still doing that, but we have limited them now that our churches are open. Monday from 4 to 5 at Saints Peter and Paul, you can come and the Blessed Sacrament will be exposed. So it's a time of adoration and prayer. Wednesday from 4:30 to 5:30 at Holy Rosary. Friday from 4 to 5 here at St. Anne.
Good, good. Excellent. We had quite a tour here, a quick jaunt, but I think we give people an opportunity to see this beautiful church.
Well, and to know that when you come back, and hopefully that's soon, some things are going to pop. And one of those is the tabernacle, and another is a bathroom. Not that you can compare those two things, but both are kind of exciting.
And they're brand new and waiting for you to welcome you back to this beautiful faith community.
Yep. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.